What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Overthinking Understanding podcast. I'm your host, Viktoriya Moore, and we are back with another episode. What's going on? Y'all heard that intro, so y'all know we back with another episode. Yeah, I said every time, but I do love y'all. I miss y'all. Building a community that you can't see but sometimes, but somehow you can feel the love that it generates. It doesn't. Nothing beat that. Nothing beats that. I never thought I'd be, 30, 40 pounds heavier and be happy to sit in front of a camera and talk to y'all. I miss y'all. I miss y'all. I miss doing episodes weekly, but I also, it's been a struggle to do episodes every month. It's been such a transition in my life, transitioning out of the job that I did for 10 plus years. And now you just leaving 9 to 5s. Like I done had 9 to 5s, but it's been 30 days, 90 days. Just leaving 9 to 5s and having all of these 24/7s and 72 hours. It's just like, man, when I used to shoot the episodes, it was like an escape. Like you do what you're supposed to at work and you work your 9 to 5. Sometimes you work, you work 9 to 2 or 5 to 10 or whatever, right? But you work your hours and you feel like you gave you fulfilled your obligations to society. Now I feel like I owe the world so much, but it don't owe me anything. And it's just like I just want to give, and I just think about all these new initiatives and things that are going on. But I genuinely, if I don't say it enough, I genuinely be excited to have y'all. I'd be excited to have the guests, the people that reach out. If you have reached out to be on the episode and you have received an email back, if we have not emailed you back to say like, hey, we're running you through the team, we're trying to make sure like it's a great fit. Because in anything and everything, like we're grateful that you want to come on the show, but we also want to make sure that your audience is going to take from what we have going on and that our audience is going to take from what you have going on. And we just, we want to collab and make sure that the collab is good. If you are visually looking at this episode and you see me looking over, I'm just trying to make sure that we're good, making sure that the time is good, the camera and everything is good. But yeah, I miss y'all. Like I be saying, I definitely miss y'all. I definitely love being in front of the camera. I love talking. I love being able to catch the water net. Because sometimes, like the people close to you, you can't help. They see it, and seeing is believing, but it's just you would never be the right messenger for the people close. And I am fortunate to say that it's a lot of people that I have came across in my life that enjoys my podcast and lets me know that they enjoy the podcast and that they listen to it. So that's always a blessing, and I'm always very grateful for that. I miss y'all. I hope y'all enjoy this episode as much as I love producing it and getting up here and talking to y'all. But I do apologize for missing the episode last month. My spouse had surgery and life just, like I said, the 9 to 5, you're able to be like, this is something that's an extension of me. And if you're not familiar with overthinking understanding, I used to travel the world for work. And wherever I went, I was so dedicated to putting out an episode. No matter where I was at, I would pack my equipment, my laptop, my camera, my microphone, mixing board, and shoot an episode. So I have episodes everywhere. I have episodes everywhere. Like if you go listen to my episodes, a lot of times I used to put the gear on. Some episodes are just audio, so it's not visual. But I'm excited for where it's gonna. I'm excited for where it's gonna hit. Just to just to know that I can give it more time. And it's just I have so many, like I said, I have so many 24/7s and it's feel like it's 72/7s that just being able to balance my time. I am looking for a video editor. I do have a, I guess, platform that I probably be scouting on first, but I would love to give that money and that opportunity to a supporter of mine. So if you hear this episode, you see this episode, and you are a video editor, I need somebody to edit. I used to edit a lot of my videos, and I still edit my videos now, but I do think it will take it to the next level if I have a video editor. just some things I'm not able to do, so you have to outsource. And overthinking understanding is so much my baby, and we're family oriented, and it's only 3 of us. From the clothes, 9 times out of 10, if I have a outfit on, shirt on, clothes on, like, we have made it. Most of all this is custom. This is, custom work, and living in a time where people try to we are so much alike, but we do not have to. As much as we are alike, we are different. And the clothes that we wear is one of our biggest what ways of expressing ourselves. So, but yeah, without further ado, I guess we'll get into this episode. Just want to talk to y'all, catch up with y'all. Shout out our sponsor for this episode, One Day at a Time Nutrition. They're actually looking for truckers to send some merch and send out a new menu item. One Day at a Time Nutrition.com. Go to their website. It's gonna say contact us. You can reach them by phone or email. So if you're a trucker out there, One Day at a Time Nutrition.com or info at One Day at a Time Nutrition. If you're looking for them, like I said, I would say the website is the best way to contact them. The website is gonna link you to the email, so email them, reach out by text. It's a great opportunity. One Day at a Time Nutrition is a meal service for service workers, and they also cater to service dogs. So if you're a trucker, service worker, you're interested in that, hit them up. One Day at a Time Nutrition.com. We'll get into this episode because I'll talk to y'all all day. I'll talk to y'all all day. And I do want to say this before I get into this episode because I do have a more like a current event, give my thoughts type of thing that I do called social heartfelt and informative things, which is heart social heartfelt and informative things on the internet, which is shit on the internet for short. Excuse the profanity, you won't hear a lot of that, but that's the name of it. That's the name of the segment, and that's what I do the current event. But I would not be true to myself if I didn't speak about the the targeting of what's going on with black people, what's going on with black Americans, because I know like throughout the diaspora, so many people feel like they are separated because, and I understand like some people say like, I have never identified myself as a skin color, but that is all we have known. We are Americans. We are black Americans. And just because other people that look like us have. They like, no, I'm African, I'm Haitian, I'm this, I'm that. So I was speaking to Black Americans specifically. Hold your head up, be proud. You are whatever you choose to be. like, I'm being funny, but I'm being serious at the same time. Like, and to the immigration that's going on, like they're saying like, oh, that people testing positive for pregnancies. I just seen that a 1 year old was in court, was in immigration court, and I am a firm believer that we will pay for the decisions that we make, but I'm also a firm believer that we have never got it right. I don't think that humans will ever get it right. I am a Christian, do believe in the Bible, and just reading the Bible. I just don't feel like humans will ever get it right. Shout out to the ones who do better, and we take care of, like I always say, we don't occupy this world on our own, and we take care of other people better. And some people just it's sick though, and there's so much going on in the world, hangings and things like that. Like for for so much good that can be possible, it does suck when a lot of bad goes on, or a lot of bad get magnified. So it just wouldn't feel right for me to do this episode and not touch on that, even though like this is not the place or the platform that I would usually do it on. But that's the great thing about being your own boss, because people tell me no. The team is usually with what I'm with. So what's gonna happen? So my heart is with y'all. Uh, but yeah, that's that. I would say life is not fair. I feel like life is so fair. Life is so fair. People are not fair. People are not fair, and people make up a lot of jobs and stuff like that. I would never give people too much credit to say they make up life, because there's just so much unknown, so much that they truly do not control. And the moment you stop playing the game that they have put in front of you, and you wake up and you realize that you're not what is it, like a PC, that you're not something that's programmed into this game, and you don't have no thoughts. data and code programmed to do this same repeated thing. You are, like I said, it's so cheesy and corny, but you are who you choose to be. I believe it. I see it because I done lived it. So just hold your head up and understand that hold the people that are good to you close. Hold yourself. If everybody don't have people that's good to them. So many of us are have isolated ourselves and are isolated lately. The world just looks so scary. Hold yourself close. Hold goodness in your heart and understand that you do have control over your life, even if you do not have control over your physical self, because it is not lost on me that everyone does not live the same freedom and able to have the same freedom or choices. Do not let them take do not let them take your mind. Do not let them take what you believe. Even if this life might suck, even if this time may suck or is controlled this way. A lot of us choose living where we don't want to be instead of death. And that's because we're taught that a little piece of life is better than leaving. And I don't know, jury's still out on that. Jury's still out on that. I don't know if I was birthed into a place where I couldn't fully express myself or dictatorship. I don't know what decisions I would make. So I would not that is not lost on me. And I know that this podcast reaches far and wide, and I love to log on and see that all over the world people listen to this. So I know my situation may not be your situation. And just still know that I'm with you. And I'm like I say, hold love in your heart, and it's going even if it doesn't feel like it's gonna get better, and it may not get better now, it'll get better later. So I know that was a little heavy. I apologize. I just you got to be true to yourself. Have to be true to yourself. But without further ado, let's get into this episode. The name of this episode is "Regret is Ill Advised." Prevention is better than treatment. Although when we talk about prevention is better than treatment, and we talk about regret is ill advised, and you shouldn't regret because you can't control the past. We will drive people to make mistakes, and then we harp on them for making mistakes. And I'm saying we because I cannot separate myself from the human race. I cannot separate myself from human lived experiences like most of us do. Like this is not my specific thing, but majority of people is like this. Majority of people didn't live your life, and no one has experienced the reality the way that you have, knowing how we work and how we are in our own little bubbles and how the way that our brain works. A lot of times that the half of the reality that we see, our brain is making stuff up. Our brain is putting together things that we have seen in the past and experienced in the past. So when we talk about like regret is ill advised and don't be regret, and now you're this ways and prevention is better than treatment. Usually when people talk about that stuff, they talk about health. They talk about health and wellness, but it goes into every area of your life. And I'm speaking for someone who understood that you can make a decision today that affects you tomorrow. So I'm not saying don't make that decision, but let's just be smart about it. Because once you go down this road, like I always say, once you enter into playing the game, that's like you break a law, you do anything, and you have to has to go through the court systems, do this, do whatever, right? Once you enter into playing somebody else's game, same thing like joining the military. A lot of times people go into the military and they want to keep so much of their identity, but so much of the military is unison. So much of the military is losing your identity because, excuse me, the military is not you. It's who you chose to become, And even though I've been out, like I said, I did it. I, I did it for a big piece of my life, and that's one of the biggest things that I feel like people didn't get. People didn't get. So, like I say, prevention is better than treatment. We could talk about it, health and wellness, and it's better to prevent from getting these diseases, and it's better to prevent from doing this, that, and the third. But let's bring it back to life. Let's bring it back to human lived experiences. Bring it back to controlling ourselves and controlling our anger and thinking about the choices that we make. Because a lot of time just like the society that we live in now, a lot of times people made decisions based on how they felt it would affect them and who they thought it was going to affect. And now they're not willing to take the consequences of their actions. For people to literally get on the news and get on social media and say like, I didn't vote for this. I didn't think that this would be it. But you have to understand that when you choose right, you choose right or left, you have to be willing to take every consequence that goes with that. So why do we wait until it hurts to be like, maybe I should change that. Maybe we should change that. And it's not so much about, like I said, we're speaking about the human experience and we're speaking about the stuff that's going on in the world now. We have all these immigration laws and rules and asylums and this, that, and the third. But when these laws go into the to effect, is that right? Go into effect, are we not thinking about the 1 year olds that may have to go to court, the 1 year olds that might that have to go to court and potentially represent themselves because somebody was there, but from how they reporting on it, they didn't say anything. When we make these laws and we make these decisions, these are we not thinking about that this may hurt a 14-year-old little girl who may end up in a camp with a pervert and now she's molested, right? Like we can't be, and that's when we say like regret is ill advised and we can't change the past, but we could have prevented so much stuff that is going on now. We could have prevented it. Like when I think about the traveling around the world and how you don't hear about gun violence. Not saying violence doesn't happen. Not saying crazy things don't happen. You don't hear about gun violence. You don't hear about this. You don't hear about that. They have preventions and systems in place. So they don't have to treat it because they're doing their best to prevent it. And don't get me wrong, like even when we talk about, because I know a lot of time we talk about like Japan and Korea, and it's like what is the saying over there? It's like the nail that sticks out gets hammered. So most people fall in line out of fear, social judgment or whatever. And I'm not saying that it's fully perfect. Some people hate it over there, but I'm saying that we should adopt some of the practices to keep some of the bad apples in line. Because now what we living in right now is regret. A lot of people are regretting decisions that they made because we did not prevent it. Now we have to treat this issue. Now we have people that you work with that do not look like you, and you have worked with these people and they have family members that are gone or have been deported or have been treated badly by the country and the place that we love so much. Or you have people that have chosen to take jobs in like ICE and whatever else, and they have to live with what they're doing. They have to live with the decisions that they're doing. And now we have all this regret in our heart for the people that do have regret in their heart. And it also transitioned into regular life because instead of us saying, I care about how I feel about this situation, I care about the decision and how it's going to affect me. 9 times out of 10, people think about, I care about what that person is going to say about this decision, and I care about what this person is going to say and how their opinion is going to affect what I have going on. But it's still your choice. So once you make your choice and they decide to change their mind, now you got regret. Now we got to treat a issue that came from a decision that you didn't even truly make. We think about relationship, money, family. It's our own habits that have been shaped by other people. And now we're like, man, I regretted the decision that I made here. Man, I could have prevented that if I just would have. And it's so intertwined because now you could have prevented it and you didn't. So now you regret it. And now we living with people who do not truly like themselves or care for themselves, going out, being your doctor, being your waiter, being the person that's selling you a home. And it's like, how did the world get so bad or the world is just getting so evil? No, that stuff been around. People been around that didn't care for themselves. People been around that didn't like themselves. People been around that has regrets. I feel like we should share it. We should share what happened more, because people sharing what they went through will and can be the prevention, where we wouldn't have to treat some of these issues. Instead of a little girl coming to you and saying that they're 12, they're 13, and they're liking this boy, or they liking this girl, they like them, whatever. Oh, you just trying to be fast, or you shouldn't be thinking about that, or whatever. Now you're gonna have to treat the situation that that person is gonna go on and make. Now you're a child. Instead of saying like, "Look, this is why I feel this way about this. This is why I feel this way about that." And it's okay to like somebody, but don't let that become your whole identity as a adolescent. Do not let that become your whole identity. Do not get so consumed in wearing clothes for this person or doing something to make this person happy. If you like that person and they like you, and I'm saying that you can't date right now, or it doesn't need to be dating, y'all can be a good friend. If it's meant to be, and y'all are meant to be together, then A, B, and C. That person to wait. That person to understand. That person to respect it. But a lot of time, we do not do prevention. And we end up having to treat it. And then we end up regretting it, because now your children, or somebody that you used to work with, or some people that you used to be in charge of, you never went back and treated the issue. So now you don't understand why your child don't like you. Now you watch somebody that you train take all of the bad things that you taught, or excuse me, the bad things you might have been doing that you didn't even know that they picked up on, and now you have to treat it. Now we have to treat it. Sometimes we regret things because we're like, I should have known better, but you didn't. It's okay. I'm not saying that everything that goes on in life we will be able to prevent instead of treat. But just like the saying says, there's nothing new under the sun. A lot of this stuff is preventable. A lot of this stuff is preventable. We watch so many people try to be something that they're not, and then they have to deal with consequences that they're not able to face because it was never in them to get into the type of trouble that they put themselves in, whether it's living above their means and they're drowning, or they're feeling like somebody was going to have their back more than they did. So much can be prevented. So much. And like I always say, I won't say that the information is out there. I won't say that some people are not trying to prevent it. But like we know, just like in health and wellness, is more cost effective to treat it and give treatment for it than it is to prevent it. It's easier for me to make you regret gaining weight, make 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 you regret your life decisions, and then give you a supplement, give you a weight loss treatment, give you a loan to fix the issue. It's just easier. It's better for me. It's more money in my pocket. Even the podcast people tune into, it's easier for them, or more cost effective for you to come back every day and them tell you what you done did wrong and why they are so much better. They they always say like the best doctors, the best anything that are people who make things where you do not have to come back. I'd rather teach you how to prevent it. I'd rather teach you that I know you care about what they think, but I'm telling you that embarrassment and shame is an illusion. That human experience that may drive you to go harm a school or harm somebody or drive you to anger, somebody else has been through it, and it's okay for you to sit with that. But there's other ways to go fix it. I always say, if somebody is really mad, go work out. Go put on the exercise. I mean, I'm sorry, go exercise. Go put on a pair of gloves. No matter how mad you are, go swing at a punching bag for 30 seconds. You ain't gotta go hurt nobody else. Go swing at a punching bag. Go run. Go try to scream at the top of your lungs for a minute. See, See, like I always say, like people, I used to truly believe that if people knew better, they'll do better. And I just want to get all this information out. But I know that some people literally want to live in regret. Some people like living in treatment. It makes them feel like I'm doing something. I have something. But for the ones who living living in regret, it's crazy to me because it's scary because you could get stuck. You could be like, I know I cannot fix this moment, but I'm gonna do everything in the future to try to fix this moment. And when you're trying to fix that moment in the past, you go tell yourself like, I'm not. I know I can't fix that moment in the past, but you still trying to fix it. You like, I know I failed this race, but I'm gonna run 10 other races to make that bad race disappear. And not in a healthy way, like, okay, I felt this, I overcame it, and I'm gonna run 10 more. Like you're literally fixated on something that you know you cannot change. That's insane. And a lot that's why I feel like we be walking around with so many people that are just crazy. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. Like, you trying to have sane and open-minded conversations, and you trying to get people to understand who have completely lost it, who completely is like, "Nah, we can do this. We can fix this. We could fix this. I could fix this. I could fix this." Instead of saying like, "Okay, I can't fix this. I can treat this thing, but I can prevent it next time. I had a prevention for this for the next time." We could say that, it's inflation, it's the people around us, it's this, it's that. Like I say, I understand that everybody does not live in my situation, and I understand that everything I say cannot fit perfectly for some things. But for the people who start with 0, like most of us do, for the people who start with nothing, how often do we restart with nothing? "Man, I'm down to this, I'm down to that. I don't have this." Even though what our last look like might change. It used to be being down to your and I like I said, I speak for myself. It used to be being down to my last was $0, $5, $10. Being down to my last now may look like $5,000, $10,000, 2,500. It all depends what's going on. But in my mind, I'm still down to my last. I'm still down to my last. And that's what I mean by when I say you could not prevent certain things, but you could be like, next time, I'm gonna treat it this time, and when I go this way, it's prevented. We won't have this issue no more. We won't have this no more. Like, okay, getting down to 0, you can't do nothing. You can't help nothing, and ain't no bills to be paid there or nothing. But if I put it in my mind that the bills come out to $5,000, when you make it to $5,000, no matter what's going on, no matter who helped, no matter what's this, what's that, if the bills is paid and you down to 5 bands, you have nothing. You have nothing. And I'm speaking to the people, and like I said, that was just an example to use, but I'm speaking to the people that, like I say, we we lose sight of I could fix this and I could prevent it for the next time. Instead is I regret it. I'm sad. I'd rather not have any money. I'd rather not have anything. I'd rather not treat it. I'd rather not prevent it. It's just gonna keep happening. You're right. Life is gonna keep happening, but the same thing that you're going through does not have to keep happening. And we sit there and it's like we focus on what should I have done? What should have I done? What should I have done? Instead of like, what should I do to move forward out of this? Literally, overthinking understanding. We get stuck and fixated on things, and it's just like, what can I do to make this better? I can sit there and be fixated like I'm trying to do better at being I'm doing better at being consistent. In the midst of doing better at being consistent, I messed up. I should have not messed up. I should have not missed that episode. I should have not did whatever, whatever. Instead of saying like, I gotta get back to batch recording. And I know everybody mind does not work like that. A lot of people do not think in solution-based thinking. Even in my close relationships, I'm like that. Like, we could talk about the problem, but we will not fixate on the problem because it is a solution. If you get too far stuck in the problem, you're just living in regret. You're just going deeper down treatment. If the tooth is messed up and you ready to take a bunch of pain pills instead of getting the tooth out, you just gonna live in treatment and you're gonna live in regret. Because whatever you did to hurt the tooth or whatever, my mom and them, my mom and them messed my teeth up or they didn't pay for me to have it when I was kids and I inherited this and now you living now you living in regret and you living in treatment. It's nothing in there. Instead of saying like, okay, how can I prevent this moving forward? All right, let's go back to batch reporting. Let's go back to shooting the episode wherever you at. Load the equipment up. Get 2 sets of equipment. You got comfortable. You got comfortable. Life kicked in. Get a whole nother set of equipment. You don't want to tear the studio. You don't want to tear the studio down when you leave. Leave the studio set up. Take the equipment with you. Get another set of equipment. So that way, if you're busy, if you need to shoot an episode, get the episode out. But if I'm steady living in regret and I'm steady thinking about treatment, I w- I wouldn't be pushing out anything else. I wouldn't be thinking about like, man, okay, this is not the end of the world. In order for us to not deal with this next month, we go get these episodes knocked out. We go do 3 episodes this month on these days. And if we're not able to do it next month, we have 3 months worth of episodes. And if we are able to do it next month, we have 3 months of episodes in the vault. But as people, and like I said, uh, a lot of things in the world make us feel that way. I always say, like, I don't know how many people have independently had a thought outside of what somebody else unconsciously implanted. I don't know how many people have independently been like, I am consciously choosing to not treat myself. I am consciously choosing to have regret. It's just fed to us. That's how people make money. If it's not making you feel shamed or making you feel less than, it's making you feel like you can't fix it. And I'm gonna hold your past to you. I am a believer that some things, I won't say that some things can't be forgiven. I feel like some things cannot be forgiven and re re put back into population or society. Some things cannot be reduced to it was just a mistake. Some things cannot be prevented or treated, right? So yes, what you did was bad. Yes, what you did was messed up. And yes, you are saying that you changed, but I guess I guess that'll be wrong. Because what I'm finna say will be prevented, right? So yes, what you did was bad. Yes, what you did was messed up. And we feel like we cannot treat you for this situation. Or we have known studies have shown like this is what you're attracted to, this is what you like. We will not re put you back into population, but you are forgiven. I feel like that is a preventive measure. So I can't say like some things can't be prevented. But I hope y'all get it. I really hope people understand what I'm saying. Sometimes we just get too stuck. We get too stuck on regret. We get too stuck on treatment. And like I said, it's not an independent thought of ourselves. It's just the way somebody else has told you to be. It's the way that society has told you to be. It's the way that a man created, man made system has programmed you to look at your life. The moment you see things going fast and you get introduced into it and you become the flow, so you're going just as fast as everything around you, you feel like you're not able to stop. But the moment you remove yourself out of the flow, you realize that it's still gonna go on without you and you are able to stop. I feel like that's the eye of the storm. You're able to start making decisions for yourself. A lot of people talk about leaving a job and you hear people like, this is not the time to quit a job. This is not the time to do this, not the time to do that. I've quit twice. can't do it, not gonna do it. Hey, life's going on, whatever. I quit. It is what it is. We'll figure it out. But if I hadn't walked away from a job I did for years, I don't think that I'll be able to do that. I just understand now, like, I can remove myself from the flow. I can remove myself from the flow, and I have put preventions in place where I'm not worried about, oh man, soon as things start getting bad, you're like, I know I shouldn't have listened to that person. Like you can't just quit your job. I didn't. That's why I say prevention is better than treatment. Regret is it about you look, oh man, I quit and now I can't pay my bills. I never said do that. I never said do that. I believe in having systems and parameters and different things in place for you to be able to pay your bills, for you to be able to be set up. That's why I said prevention is better than treatment. In order to prevent me from getting back to having nothing, I have to put this in place. This is nothing. Although it's more money than you ever had or more money than you used to get paid yearly, this is nothing. This is your prevention. This is your prevention. I want you to think about something that you can control in your life because I know quitting a job and leaving a job in this economy right now is not the best for everybody, right? I want you to think about something in your life that you can remove, come out the flow of, and be like, I could do this, and this is prevention. Something small. Think of the smallest issue that you have and say, like, I can prevent this. I can prevent like think about it, like I'm treating it right now. When I go over budget, I use my credit card. Not out of necessity, not for paying bills, but when I go over budget, I use my credit card. When I get upset with myself and don't know how to express it or do not want to blame myself, I go outwardly to other people. I do this, I do that. Think about your issue small because it's not lost on me that something that'll be small to me is big to other people. And it's something that is huge to other people is small to me. At the end of the day, what I want you to take away from this episode is if you're able to look out and see that someone else has been through it, you're able to prevent it in your life. If you're able to look out and see that this has happened before, and like we say, nothing is new under the sun. And I know everybody is not able. So that's why I say, like, if you are able to look out and be like, I don't want this for my life. And we're not gonna get fixated on not and not doing that. Right? We're not gonna get fixed on it on I didn't have these shoes as a kid, so now I buy a whole bunch of them. Because you still living in that same place, but you feel like it's better. You're living in treatment. I'm talking about full on prevention. I want to make it where if I like a pair of shoes, no matter the price, no matter where they at, I'm able to get them. How do you do that? That's the true prevention, not the treatment. Not keep buying the same shoe over and over because you didn't get to have them and you told yourself that you like them. And you tell yourself that you still like them, but you really like that you're able to afford them. Afford them. I'm talking about the true prevention. The true prevention where this won't happen again. And it's fascinating because even when I do this exercise and I write it out, it just reminds you of how little you have to control. It'd be so minuscule because it's so little what we have to control. Like I said, like the ability to control our lives is already this illusion because life itself is not controlled by man. No matter what we say, we feel like humans have so much control over what we do, but the moment you die, they can control bringing you back or not. The accident that you was in, the supervisor at work couldn't have stopped that. You feel like he just has all control. He can't do nothing about it. Like I said, if you don't take anything away, if you're able to see it, if you're fortunate enough to see the warning signs, or you're fortunate enough to see something that you do not want to do, like I say, because regret is ill advised. There's no reason of looking at the past. We're talking about prevention, not the treatment for it, the prevention. What can I put in place to prevent this, to prevent that. And I don't care how small it is, what it is. If it's a kid listening to it and you don't want to dirty your shoes up, you want your nice shoes to say stay nice for shoes, and you have an old pair of shoes, not thinking about what this person thinks about it, what that person thinks about it. We just speak in prevention. You wear your old shoes to go to the playground. You wear your old shoes to walk home, do this, do that. And it sounds silly, but it's the silly things that we have took away. The things that sound the silliest is what has so many people in these serious situations. The things that we have took away that's stupid. That they don't know what they talking about. I can't understand. I can't wrap my hand around that. They just doing a bunch of gibberish. And that's why we have so many treatment. There's so much treatment for mental health and making mistakes, credit repair. There's not a whole lot of prevention because prevention is not going to make you money. People tell you no credit is bad credit, and you go get credit and you mess it up. How can I prevent what just happened? This speaking from someone who was told that 700. I was like, I got 757, seven this. That's perfect. That's all we see. I got to see a 800 credit score. I got to see an 800 credit score. How can I prevent, not treat? Regret is ill advised. We're not worried about it. I wouldn't do it. Not treatment plan. How can I prevent it? And it's funny because when I think about these episodes and I'm writing these things out and I think about what's done happen in life, and I always tell people, and I say it on this podcast so much, I live so much of my life watching what other people did. And like, okay, I like this, I don't like that, I don't want to end up like this. I tell a story all the time. Like, my sibling was like, they must have been telling you some extra stuff. Like, how you know all of this? I'm like, we ain't grew up in the same household. And they didn't tell me no extra than you did. I just looked around. And a lot of stuff that I do in my life is prevention. I can't regret what happened to me. I can say it. I lived there. I'm not saying that I didn't used to live there, that I haven't been there. Like I said, it will never take away. I am a human that has human experiences, right? But a lot of my life has been prevention instead of treatment. I don't want to put myself over there. Or I don't want to get caught up in that. I don't want to get this or I'm going to move this way. And we don't think about it like that until it's health. Even with health, a lot of people will usually get to a unhealthy state or life has kicked up butt. And that's another thing. Like, we live in regret. Like, I can't believe I let myself get this carried away, and I let myself get this big, and I let this happen and that happen. But it's life. You're gonna have your ups and downs. We're humans. You're gonna have your moments. We're letting people treat us out of our humanity. I don't know what it is to be this or be that because I never experienced it. When the people who you may look up to, the fitness influence that you should follow the most, used to be bigger or they used to be out of shape. Most people are out of shape, they just small. Although I did the military for a long time, I was out of shape. I was able to pass what I needed to pass. Sometimes I wasn't. Most of the time I was, right? But I was still out of shape. Most of us are out of shape. We were just small. I was 128 pounds out of shape. But I really do hope that you take something away from this episode, whether it's about health, relationships, money, your career, your family. If you're ignoring problems with communications in a relationship, like how can I prevent this situation from happening moving forward? If you waiting for something to go wrong before you change a habit, how can I prevent this from not happening in the next stage of my life? Living in a time where people are trying to escape the loop of the life that they're living, but they're not thinking about prevention, they're thinking about treatment. We're trying to think about prevention. In a career where you feeling like, I hate this sucks. Why you stand? Why you stand somewhere where you're unhappy? How can you prevent this and prepare for your next move? Not treat it, not, drink or Band-Aided or retail therapy, all of those are treatments. And I'm not saying that if that's all you have to grasp on to your happiness and stay with us or make your life worth living, I'm not saying remove it cold turkey. I literally say start as small as you can. But prevention moving forward. If you keep saying like I'm ending up with a relationship with these people who don't treat me right, who do me wrong, who make me feel this way, that way, how can I prevent this moving forward? Because that's one thing that's beautiful about life. You were feeling like, man, I want to die. I don't want to be here. I want to do this. That sun is going to rise. And if them eyes open, you have another lived experience to do. And some people don't want to treat it. Some people do not want to treat it. Like I say, some people enjoy living in regret. And some people live in treatment and you can't break them out of the illusion, out of their delusion that they're treating the issue. They're like, no, I'm preventing it. I ain't never gonna have to worry about not whatever I had when I was growing up because I have an abundance of it. You fixated on something that happened in the past. You're living with regret. You just feel like you're not because you're doing better in the future. Just think about it. If you're assuming with family that it will always be more time to call, more time to visit, but you have a conviction, you have feelings about not being with you, how can I prevent this moving forward? Even personal growth. If you know that something needs change and you're like, I'm gonna deal with it later, what can you do to prevent it? I really enjoy talking to y'all. I be having like these outlines to the T, and then I get to talking to y'all and I get to going, and I get in a little flow state, and I be like, man. But I really hope that y'all be enjoying it. Y'all understand. I think that it's fascinating in the podcast space or sharing your thoughts at all, where it makes so much sense in your head. And when you get to saying it, it's like, man, like it sounds so good in my head, but people can't read minds. People can't read minds. It's like if it's so I was watching this show. I think I'm probably gonna butcher the name. It's called like now Pure I can't even say it now. It's about it's a different take on a zombie apocalypse, right? It's like everybody except 12 people are basically become one. They share conscience. They don't talk. They don't do anything. They only talk to the humans that are only able to communicate still by speech because they're not a part of this hive that only communicates consciously. And I'm only saying that to say like so many things make sense and it like sounds good in our mind. And it's like, what if we were able to like just mental like you ain't gotta say nothing. Like I know we have like nonverbal cues and different like, stuff like that, but like what if we were able just to be like and it's like, you know what, yeah, that makes sense. We just have a whole conversation. I feel like it'll be less confusion. So sometimes when it's trying to get the words out, it'd be like, I wanted to do it like this, but it was that. I wanted it to have like this, but it was that. You gotta avoid regrets, man. Don't let regrets become fear and a reason that, you're not able to live your life. Based on what you know right now, what can I reasonably do moving forward? And I tell you, like, I don't just get on this mic and talk. Like, I have lived these lives. I have lived these lives and I have been grateful. Even when it comes to like gaining weight and doing this and that, like I haven't worried about what my next meal was coming from or who was gonna be there to help me if something fell down in years. I don't remember what it's like. I haven't had to tell myself no to pleasures in a long time. My pleasures outweigh my bills and in a time where most people are not able to afford their bills, and that is not lost on me. And I understand that there may not be the forever. Like I said, I do live in this world of prevention and this, that, and the third. So hopefully, I'm able to keep it on track. But I really hope y'all enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed producing it. Like I said. Regret is ill advised. Prevention is better than treatment. Do not just take that for your health. Use it for your life. Use it for your life, your happiness, your relationship, your careers. If you got kids, if you got dogs, whatever, you cannot fix it. And don't treat the past, regardless of how you may look at it. Like I ain't been treating the past. I always laugh and I say like this is a mindset show, and people have took these words and overused them, and we just get disgusted with hearing them. But mindset does be a big reason that people are stuck where they at. Mindset is the reason that people have been treating people the way that they're treating people, because we do not look at it that way. And until somebody comes along that you respect their outlook and their point of view, you realize like, man, I've been looking at that all wrong. But as always, thank y'all for joining. Be genuine to yourself and kind to others. Come back for another episode. Check out the episodes if you haven't. Yeah. Bye bye.